All right, everyone, welcome back to the Brad and Kyle channel. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the power step. And how you can generate a lot of power with a foot. Stay tuned. Now, I don't know if we're generating any power with a foot, but I was actually, when we were discussing what we were going to talk about in this video, I was kind of purposely not listening to you because I want to be a little bit of a student in this regard of how you look at this power step. But I do, before we go into anything, I do remember Larry Lichtenstein describing Chris Prather as having soft feet. And that's just the first thing or person I've ever actually described it like that, and for some reason it just kind of makes sense.
It's the greatest.
We can kind of get into what that would mean, but
I promise you, after I heard that, my next practice session, I was like,
wait, how can I like
feet,
walk up there and shop there? Okay, so the power step is the step right before you slide, and in general, it should be the shortest, and then we can go into it. Should it be like really firm and fast? Should you be aggressive when you go into the slide? Should we do like a Chris Prather and have soft feet? What are we talking about?
Yeah, so the power step right before the slide, and the importance of this step is because it's a way we can really engage our legs to create power. That's why we call it the power step. It's a step right before we slide. So before I go on the slide, for me it would be this right foot right here. I really want to focus on loading up and exploding off to that. And then we're going to talk about a few ways to do that here, but the importance is, and you watch this in all the best players, they'll all really load on this and then really explode out of it. And that's how a lot of them get all that natural power. You go, man, how are they doing that? Well, they're so loaded up on that power step and in such a good position that they can just create so much power with their legs, hips, shoulders, all rotating with each other.
And they're not thinking about their arm, really, are they?
No,
they're thinking about loading up. And I remember I was talking to Simonson one time. We're bowling the playoffs. He's got front 10 against Belmo, and I remember him explaining the 11th one going, just focus on my legs, just focus on my legs, just focus on my legs. So if you see a player of that caliber in that situation overemphasizing focusing on your legs, then if you're someone out there that focuses on your arm, we probably need to switch that up a little bit.
Yeah, so the first tip we're going to give you guys here, and I'm going to talk here about the length of the power step. So ideally, when we're in our approach and we get to that power step, what we do not want to happen is this step to be too big, because it's hard to get the transfer of weight loaded onto this step. Ideally, when we're here, God, dude, I haven't done an approach in so long. I'm like, I don't even have my timing now. So when we get to that step, we want it to be right in front of the step prior and shorter. Ideally, if we looked at all of our steps, the power step should be one of the shortest ones. And that way, we can really get on this step quick, get our weight all transferred on there, and then explode off of it. If this step gets too far, well, now my weight is shifted between both of them, and it's hard to really get all the weight on here.
And essentially get back in that position. Just in terms of timing, generality across the board, the ball is at the top of the swing when you're kind of coming off of that foot going into your slide. So that synchronization of the ball coming down and you going into your slide are kind of together. They're different, but
very much together. If you want to look at someone that has late, and this is, a little bit related to the power step, but this is dictated on how long that power step is. But that power step, when we get all that weight transfer on that leg, theoretically the ball should be at the apex of the swing at the same time. Pretty close. So if you get it all transferred weight and that ball is already coming down, it means you have some early timing. If you get all that weight transferred and then when you go in the slide, your ball still goes up, that means you're going to have really late timing. Ideally, in a perfect world, when we get that transferred, no matter if your swing's here, here, or here, we should be loaded here, and then this all comes down together. Okay, so the second tip for the power step is going to be the direction of the foot on the power step. Now, this is something that's really important. And again, if you watch all the best bowlers, this is something they will do. When we get into that power step, we want that foot, see how my foot is pointed to the right here. What this is going to do is going to allow us to get that ball to project and let our hips be open so we can get that ball to the right. If I'm closed here, if this foot is closed, it's automatically going to shut down my hips, and any natural projection that I want, it's not going to be able to happen.
Now, are you ever changing this based on the angle you want to play?
No, I'm never focusing on changing it.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's not really a thought. A lot of times people will get this naturally. It's just like a natural way your body, you know, you keep trying to throw it to your right. Well, your body's pretty smart. It's going to figure out how to get you to throw it to the right. But in case you're not, and we do see people not do this, it's really good to be able to get that step open, because now I'm in a good position where I can get my hips open and I can allow that ball to go to the right. Or obviously the opposite as a left-hander. But if this power step is closed, like, this feels so bad trying to get it to the right because my hips are just pointed straight. So really, second tip, focusing on getting that step to have the toe pointed slightly to the right is going to be really big for projection wise. So for our last tip, and this is a tip slash drill, and this is actually something that I've worked on. Actually, one of our ball reps helped me focus on this, is really emphasizing that power step. And what I mean by this is when you go through your full approach, so we do, if you're in a 5-step, you know, you're 1, 2, 3. When I get to that 4th step, really feel the weight of your body on that 4th step, even slow it down, and just try not to get off of it quick. Really feel your weight on it and then explode into the shot. And see if you can, and this isn't something necessarily that you have to do in competition, but we're trying to generate power with our legs. So we're just really trying to focus on emphasizing that power step, driving off of it, because a lot of times we'll see people just get off that step quick and they don't have the chance to really engage their legs.
Yeah, and you know, we're not saying you got to get like super duper low, and we definitely don't want to be standing tall. When I take the ball to the top of the backswing and my legs are straight, there's just, you know, I feel like the ball's just going to like drop down, and I'm not going to be able to get it going that way at all. My back kind of hurts holding like this. But the second I like get this like down, I get the ball and the weight of my body kind of going into this knee, I get it controlled, that gives you all the control in the world. It almost makes you feel like you don't have to overthrow it. It makes you feel like you have options, you know, and when you don't get into that position, it feels like you have no options. It feels like the ball's not even going to go down the lane in a way if you're like standing straight up from here. But if you get low, that just gives you so much more stability. It'll open you up to more ways of throwing the ball. You can get more aggressive, you can get softer with it, just by being in a better position, a little lower.
Yeah, an athletic position.
An athletic position.
You know, bowling today is about power. It's, you know, accuracy, all that stuff. How do you do that? You get into an athletic position. The game is becoming more and more athletic than it's ever been. So emphasizing getting your body into these positions is going to help you get more power, and it'll give you the stability that you need at the line. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Power step, it's really important, but the main part is start using your legs. Follow those tips, get your power step in the right position, follow the last drill of really emphasizing your weight on that power step, and you'll be able to utilize your legs, hence translating it into more power.
And help us out, hit that like and subscribe. Head over to bradandkyle.com to get some fancy merch. We would love you if you did that. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you next time.